We really need to get that killer instinct when we have a team down 21-0, 10-0, about executing and really getting the ball in the end zone. They've been stressing, we've done some good things on offense, but it's time for us to be great. And, we were trying to do that tonight, and I think for the most part, we were pretty great.
This game was a good stepping stone for us to prove to ourselves that we can play, and no matter what team it is, we're going to come out firing. And the point we wanted to get across today is that we could finish games.
No questions about the finish this week in the Warriors' 59-point beating of Charleston Southern, 66-7, the final. Bryant Moniz, career high in passing yards with 395, and Greg Salas, 7 catches, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His first of the year.
Felt good, finally.
Yeah.
4 games in, but no, it was nice. I was excited, I was looking forward to it, and I knew I was gonna get in eventually. It was nice to go out there and put up big numbers and just really click on all cylinders.
We were able to score on the first drive this week compared to last week where we got stopped, so kind of set the tone for things, and we just kept it rolling.
Warriors will try and keep this team a well-oiled machine. Next week, they're still here at home, opening up WAC play against Louisiana Tech. Same time, same place, 5:30, Aloha Stadium. And a shake-up in the AP Top 25 poll. Here's a look at the top 10. A new look this week. Boise State received 1 first-place vote this week. Oregon jumps TCU for the number 4 ranking. And Auburn jumps up from the 17th spot to number 10 with the win over South Carolina to be in the top 10. And a surprise in this week's poll, another WAC team sneaking in. Nevada, now ranked 25th in the country with a perfect 4-0 record. Hawaii didn't receive any votes this week. NFL now, Titans visiting the Giants. Former Warriors defensive specialist Ryan Mouton, safety, didn't see any action on defense, but he was able to record his first and only tackle of the game on this kickoff. Titans offense played well all game, though, because the defense caused turnovers. Here's Vince Young to Kenny Britt for 13 yards, 19-10 Tennessee, and I'm showing you this because it's great for my fantasy numbers. Chris Johnson bounces back, 32 carries, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, as the Titans win 29-10.
It feels good to be back at 500. The Warriors enjoyed their first game at the Aloha Stadium in a couple weeks after destroying Charleston Southern 66-7 last night. Hawaii scored touchdowns on 7 of their first 9 possessions, improving their record to 2-2 on the season. How's it going, everybody? It was an evening filled with highlights in more ways than one, as several UH players either hit career highs or career firsts in a Warrior uniform. Let's begin with quarterback Bryant Moniz. He completed 19 of his 27 passes for a career-high 395 yards and 6 touchdowns. That tied him with Nick Rolovich and Colt Brennan for most TDs in one half of play. The Lelehua grad also ran in a score in the third, giving him 7 total TDs on the night. But speaking of big time, receiver Billy Ray Stutzman hauled in his first career touchdown. The St. Louis High grad had this 16-yard grab in the first quarter from Moniz. UH also playing 6 quarterbacks against the Bucks, and that opened the way for David Graves to toss his first career touchdown, a 41-yarder to Dustin Blunt, making the score 63-7. Now, on the receiving end of all those passes, 3 players made more than one date with the end zone. Kealoha Pilar has hauled in 2 TDs for the second time this season, while running back Alex Green scored once on the ground and once through the air. But Greg Salas may have breathed the biggest sigh of relief. The senior caught his first pair of touchdowns of the season with 7 grabs for 131 yards.
Yeah, that felt good, finally.
Yeah.
4 games in, but no, it was nice. I was excited, I was looking forward to it, and I knew I was gonna get in eventually, but I was glad it was finally now today. So we still did make a little bit of mistakes, but it was nice to go out there and just go up and down the field. That was fun.
Might have just been the atmosphere, good to be home again in front of the fans, and more concerned with my 2 picks instead of the 6 touchdowns. It can't always be perfect, but it's something to shoot for and something that I try to strive for. So I think those 2 interceptions kind of overshadowed my 6 touchdowns. It's something I got to work on this week.
The only major injury of note happened to receiver Rodney Bradley in the first quarter. The senior suffered a hamstring injury that reports say could keep him out 1 to 6 weeks. Coach Mack, however, says he's optimistic that Bradley will be able to return next week against Louisiana Tech. Speaking of which, the Warriors host the Bulldogs in their WAC opener at Aloha Stadium next Saturday. The Bulldogs are coming off of a 1-point loss to Southern Miss. Kickoff is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. And for a complete recap and reaction from last night's game, plus a look ahead to the upcoming La Tech game. Tune into the Coach Mac Show. That's tonight, right after the 10 o'clock news, only on KGMB. The latest AP poll doesn't look very different. Here it is. Bama holding on to the top spot, followed by Ohio State, Boise State, Oregon, and TCU. Then Nebraska, Florida, Oklahoma, Stanford, and Auburn make up the rest of the top 10. But WAC member Nevada, they made history, being ranked in both the AP and coaches' top 25 polls for the first time. In the NFL, former Warrior Isaac Sopawanga and Travis LeBoy accounted for 5 tackles, but they couldn't help San Fran break into the win column against KC, and this is the kind of day it was for the Niners. Brandon Flowers tipping the Alex Smith pass, kicking it up in the air, and he still catches it while he's on the ground. Chiefs win 31-10, improving to 3-0.
How you doing, everybody? Let's talk sports. A 1-2 record, red zone shortcomings, third quarter deficiencies, and a bunch of would'ves, could'ves, and should'ves. Heading into the weekend, the UH Warrior football team was in need of a confidence booster, and it came last night in the form of FCS opponent Charleston Southern, as Hawaii enjoyed a good old-fashioned get-fat night at Aloha Stadium. It started right off the bat as UH's offense was unrelenting from the get-go. Quarterback Bryant Moniz tied a program record with 6 touchdown passes in the first half, going 19 of 27 for a career-high 395 yards. Third straight game he's gone over 3 bills in yardage. Greg Salas was the top target, catching 7 passes for 131 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's now caught a pass in 31 consecutive games dating back to his sophomore season. Kealoha Pilaris also hauled in a pair of TDs, giving him a team high of 7 on the year. Hawaii led 49-7 at halftime and went on to win 66-7. 6 different quarterbacks saw action last night, and the Hawaii D took out some of its frustration on the Buccaneers, collecting 4 sacks and forcing 4 turnovers. One of the highlights of the evening, though, most definitely a flea flicker to Salas for a 40-yard score, proving that Hawaii was getting jiggy with it on all fronts last night.
The play call was called Bombay Learn, and that's all we said in the huddle, and everybody knew what it was. So it was a lot of fun. We're definitely opening it up a little bit. We have a hard time in the red zone the past couple of weeks, so we're trying to pulling out all the stops and trying to, put up points.
It builds a lot of confidence getting a win like this. I know on offense we're stressing out on, stressing that we really need to get that killer instinct when we have a team down 21-0, 10-0, about executing and really getting the ball in the end zone, especially red zone. And they've been stressing, we've done some good things on offense, but it's time for us to be great. And, we were trying to do that tonight. And I think for the most part, we were pretty great tonight on offense. And defense was lights out, too. I love seeing the defense run around and get turnovers like that. That pumps us up.
This game was a good stepping stone for us to prove to ourselves that we can play. And no matter what team it is, we're going to come out firing. And the point we wanted to get across today is that we could finish games. It was good to prove to ourselves that we can play, so we could build confidence and go into La Tech strong.
So now it's time to dip into the WAC. 2-2 Warriors opening play in the Western Athletic Conference next Saturday against Louisiana Tech. Bulldogs are 1-3 on the year. Home team has won 5 of the last 6 in this series. Kickoff at Aloha Stadium is set for 5:30 p.m. For the first time in 62 years, current WAC member Nevada has cracked the national rankings. The 4-0 Wolfpack are in the number 25 spot of this week's AP poll. Last time they were ranked was 1948. That gives the Western Athletic Conference 2 teams in the poll, with unbeaten Boise State still 3rd. Alabama remains number 1. By the way, Hawaii will host Nevada October 16th and then play at Boise State later in the year, November 6th. On the pro gridiron, Dolphins and Jets, solid game for former UH receiver Devon Bess. The third-year Miami pass catcher hauled in 6 Chad Henne deliveries for 86 yards as he continues to be one of the primary third down targets for the Dolphins. But the fish would come up short on the scoreboard. It was Jets receiver Braylon Edwards. First catch of the night came in the 3rd quarter, and he came up big on it. It was a 67-yard go-ahead touchdown. New York wins the ball game 31-20.